Right, hello everyone. I'll just give it a second, make sure everything's working correctly. Hopefully everyone can see the screen and hear me as well. Oh, um, so if you just bear with me for 1 second. Just going to make sure everything's set up correctly. Right, hopefully that's all good. Yeah, so we'll just get started. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our office hour sessions. These are our live interactive streams where myself or one of my colleagues will just run through a specific feature on the system and answer any questions you've got on the way. So we do these every 2 weeks, excuse me, and today's session is on Connect. So if you've not heard of GDS Connect before, it is essentially our online bookings platform that's directly integrated within your GDS system. So if you've been watching the videos we've been posting, you'll know that nowadays customers place convenience really high towards their list of priorities. Now this portal, which is available 24/7, is going to let your customers book online at a time which suits them. So you're going to end up with more bookings, but at the same time, your front of house are actually going to spend less time doing admin, like recording details and creating job sheets and all those kind of things. So what I'll do is I'll just head straight into setting up the actual Connect platform. So you do that from the cloud system here. And what you want to do is go straight into your settings, into setup, and then connect just towards the bottom there. So here is where all the settings are going to lie and all the configuration is going to happen. So you'll see there's a little general section here. We've got a green button telling us the site is actually online, as well as just a button you can press to take it offline. Your site title here is what you can change, and that's going to show what appears at the actual top of the screen there. And you can change your logo and app icon here as well. So if you want to add your garage logo, make it a bit more personable to you, you can do that here. And then just further down the page here, you've got some general booking preferences. Like you'll see a recurring theme throughout this demo is that you have a lot of control of what actually happens. So what customers can do, like whether that's only allowing bookings from a certain date or just being able to, confirm or reject any booking requests that customers do make. So if I scroll down further, you've got more information like contact details here, and you can also add all your different policies. So whether that's a cancellation policy, privacy policy, or just your general T's and C's, you can put all that in here. Now, if I go all the way back up, I've got a little tab that says services. Now, here is where you're going to see what jobs you're actually selling on the platform. So I've got two categories here, one for MOTs and service. You can see within this service category, I've got both a full service and a major service. In terms of adding a new category, super simple. You just want to click the blue button here and then add a name. For example, if I wanted to add one for batteries, I can just add a little description there, as well as a longer one if you need to in this box here. And then you can select an image. So what I'm going to do is just use one of the preset GDS ones like this here. And then just make sure that's ticked so it's actually available online. Now here you can also assign it to a parent category. So if you saw the service and MOTs categories, if I wanted to make it a subcategory of one of those, I'd just select that here. But I'm not going to do that, and I'm just going to create it as its own. So I click save, and then you'll see there's a batteries category just in the middle of these two. Now, the next section we've got in the settings is the editing section. So here you can change what the actual website will look like and how it's ordered. So if I want to have the search bar underneath the categories, for example, I can move that. Maybe you want to change other things like the color or the theme. If I want to change that to green, super simple. I can do all that here. And then if you want to look at the actual changes you've made, all you have to do is preview section here. And this is going to show you what the actual website will look like with all the changes you've made. So you'll see that's green there. And also the search bar is just underneath the categories here. So that's the settings. What I'm going to do now is show you how to create an actual job to put in these categories. And that is going to start in your stock. So if I go all the way down to stock here, and by the way, if anyone does have any questions, feel free just to pop something in the chat. But what we want to do is first create a labor stock item. So I'm going to click the add button here. And what I'm going to do is create a minor service. So I'm going to set the price as £130. So we want to make sure that is labor and not parts. And then you just need to select a time, which is also going to select the duration of the actual job on the Connect platform. So if we do 60 minutes there, and the other key bit you want to remember when you're actually creating this labor item is make sure you go down to the bottom here and actually tick show in online bookings portal, which does what it says on the tin. It's going to make sure it is actually displayed on the website. So you can add a description here or select an image. You can do that at a later stage, which I'm going to show you. So I'll leave that blank for now. What we want to do is create that, and then I'll go back into my settings here, into the Connect settings. And I'll go back into my services tab or category. And you see there's a button at the bottom here that just says add service. I'm going to click that, and this is where we do all the descriptions and the titles. So I'm going to add it as a minor service, and I've got a little description there already. And then here, the labor stock item we've just created, you want to select that from the list. So I've got minor service here, either just select it from the drop down or search, and that is then going to associate it with that labor item. Again, you can create a longer description here, and you've got some further options like whether you want to allow the booking to be cancelled, and also the image that we saw earlier. So again, I'm just going to select a stock GDS image. And what we're going to quickly look at before I save that is the restrictions. So here you can choose what locations it's allowed at and also what staff members' diaries you actually want customers to be able to book into for this. So just for the purposes of the demo, I'm going to select this unassigned mechanic. So it's only their diary which customers can book into here. Now, if I save that, you'll see we've got the minor service job in the category here. So the next step is going to be showing you what it actually looks like for a customer to book in. So if I go back to the online bookings portal here, and just give that a little refresh, you'll see the changes we made. That button is now green. I'm going to go onto the services category, and you see we've also got the minor services there as well. So I'm going to click on that. And again, this is synced in real time with your diary. So in this case, the diary of the unassigned mechanic, and it's only going to show you slots that are actually available. So if I was to pick Thursday the 19th, we've got 4:30, which is in about 6 minutes. Now the customer here is going to enter their details. So they'd put in their email address. And then they put in the passwords here as well. So I'm going to fill this out. And then they just put their name. So I'm just going to put a random name in here and a phone number. And then they put their address in here as well. So what they can do is put in a house number and a postcode, and then they can just look up the address automatically, or if they do want to, they can enter the address manually as well and just fill out those details and then click register. So the customer fills their own details out, which is going to help make sure you're maintaining accurate records. Um, because we all know mistakes can happen, and your front of house can, put a digit in wrong or accidentally put the wrong character, and that can cause you issues down the line. Maybe you need to wait longer to get approval from a customer, and the car's just on the ramp that little bit longer. But this is going to help you out and make sure all those details are correct right from the start. So if I click register here, I've not filled that out properly. Um, so I'm now into this further section, and what you want to do here is actually assign it to a vehicle. So I've obviously got no vehicles assigned to me already because I'm a brand new customer. And what I would do is actually add the vehicle here. So if I type in a registration that I've got here, and that is a Seat Arona. If I click add vehicle, it's then going to log that registration, and it's going to give me two options. So what you can see here is another really handy feature of the actual Connect platform, and that's where the customer can make a payment at this stage of the booking. So they can have the job paid for before they even, the job takes place, before they turn up to collect the keys, and that's going to speed your processes up as well. So they can make the payment here, or they can select pay on attendance. So what I'm going to do is select that option and just click book now. I'll get a little confirmation here as well as an email. And then if I go back into my diary and we go to today, if I just give this a little refresh. What you'll see just towards the bottom here is a booking in red, and that means it's a provisional booking. So that's what we've just created as our customer then. If I was to highlight this, what will happen is it would pop up on the screen here, and it says review provisional customer. So you've got the details here. You've got as well the option to actually make it real and confirm that booking in the diary, or just remove it for whatever reason and delete those details. And you see it fills out the registration here as well. Now what you want to get into the habit of doing is actually a VRM lookup here. So if I click lookup, that's going to find the details for that and apply it to the vehicle record. And what I'm not going to do is just leave that alone for now and just show you where else you can see these details. So if you want to segment the calendar by just these provisional bookings to make it a little bit easier to view, all you have to do is click that button, and everything else has disappeared, and we've just got Callum at the bottom here. What you can also do is view these from your customer list. So this is my full customer list, and if I click this provisional customers filter, it's going to show me customers that have requested to be added onto this system. Now Callum is at the top here, and you'll see the provisional vehicle list. I've also got the car on there as well. So if I go back into reviewing this, say I'm happy, I can make sure make real is ticked, apply that, and it's going to ask me if I haven't done a lookup to perform one already. We didn't save the details last time, so that's why it's asking again. But I can apply that, and that's now removed from the list, as well as the vehicle, because it's been confirmed as an actual booking. So you'll see that's now changed into blue, and you can see it's booked directly into the diary. The customer is also or has also been added as a customer to your records. But if we click the actual booking here, you see you've got all the options you'd expect on a normal booking. You can choose when they've arrived, as well as when the actual job's been completed. And as well here, we've got the job sheet, which has already been created for you. So again, your front of house are going to have to do way less admin in terms of just recording these details creating the documents, converting them into invoices. Um, there's a lot less steps involved in that whole process. So you see here the job sheet's already been filled out automatically based on that labour line item we set up. But as always, if you do need to change anything, it's really simple to do so. So say if I wanted to add wiper blades, I can just search for those, add it onto the job sheet, and that's now auto saved on there. Again, if you want to add any notes or look the vehicle up through Haynes, you can do that here as well. So if I'm happy with that, I can close the job sheet, and then again, say that job's now been completed, I can just click complete, which is going to convert that into an invoice, which we've seen how this looks already, but you've got all the details at the bottom there. And then that is all done and dusted. So that's the process of a brand new customer booking in. You will get some slight differences based on whether whether you've seen the customer before. For example, excuse me, if I was to log back out of here and try to make a booking as a customer whose details are already on the system, for example. If we choose Monday, 11 o'clock, and I'll put in an email that I know I've already got recorded on the system. So I'll put that in there. And what it would do, actually, I must have put the wrong email down there. Yeah, so that's my mistake. I've got the wrong email there. But what it would do is it would come up with a verification code, and it would send it to that email, and it would say, we already have your details on the system, and it basically tell you that your details are there. So it's super simple just to log in, and then you can select your vehicle from the list as it'll already be there. And what it will do is instead of putting it as a provisional booking, it will put this straight into your diary, or you can toggle the option where it will still flag up as a provisional appointment either way. So there are slight differences based on if you have those customers' details on the system already. And that really, in a nutshell, is a quick run through of how this online bookings platform works. If anyone does have any questions, just feel free to pop it in the chat and I'll do my best to answer. Or if you're not comfortable doing that, if you want to pop a direct message over when this is done, we will reply to you that way instead. So I don't think we've got anything coming through. So what I'll do is I will leave it there. And like I said, if anyone does want to ask anything after this is over, please feel free. And as always, this video will get put into a playlist with all our other office hours videos, which will go directly on our YouTube. So if you do want to watch this from the beginning, you'll have that available to you as well. So our next session again is going to be in 2 weeks' time. So we will see you then and have a great day.